Welcome back, guys. This is going to be the first video series on this 1995 Hyundai Scoupe that we got for free from Joseph. That story can be found on Phil's Lawn Care channel. Just type in "got a free car for mowing a overgrown lawn." It's very interesting, and I'm super thankful to Joseph for providing this car for me. His plan was to actually take this to the scrapyard. He ended up surprising me by saying, "Why don't you just have it?" Today's goal is to actually fire it up and maybe get it running. I don't know. I just want it to crank over. So it came with no battery. I went ahead and went to O'Reilly's and got a super start. Let's go ahead and see if the car will at least turn over. We don't want it to start and run. Okay, I hear some buzzing going on. I think that's a good sign. Let's go ahead and see if it will at least turn over. Okay. Some lights working, that's good. Hazards working. Whoa, our tent. We need to stake down our tent. Hold on. All right, that's a lot better. All right, let's see if it'll crank over just with the battery installed. Nothing. And I am pushing the clutch in, but I don't think that's how it should be. Got the brake. Okay, clutch and brake. Nothing. Well, that's not a good sign. Okay, we got the battery hooked up, no clicking. He did say that the alternator was either bad or going bad. I do hear something buzzing. So I think we should have power. We do have some chewed up wires here. That's not good. Then we got all these loose wires, some kind of ground wire, I think. We got something going on here. I'm not too sure. Oh, there are the more chewed up wires. Hopefully that's not the reason why it's not clicking over. I mow lawns for a living. I don't fix cars. I did small engine repair way back, so I kind of know the three main things: fuel, spark, and compression. I think it's the same thing on a car, right? So the first thing we need is spark, ignition, and it's not turning over. You know what? Hold on. Since it is a manual, we're having issues with the clutch pedal. Let me see something. Let me see something. All right. So why is the clutch not going in all the way? I need a light up in here. Here we go. All right. Oh yeah. Got dealing with some rust over there, I see. Oops. Where is it hitting? What is it stopping at? Okay, so there's the pad. Oh, I see what's going on. You guys see that? Hold on. Let me get this wire out of the way. Come on, focus on it. You see that? That's a switch. We're not even near hitting the switch. Hold on. Oh, I love mechanics. We're not even hitting the switch to engage it. I think that's why it wasn't kicking over. Pretty sure that's why it wasn't kicking over. Okay, so if we push it in and turn it over, I think it might hit. All right, here we go. The moment of truth. Can you guys see me? Maybe not. Gotta find the switch underneath. There it is. Let's press the switch. All right, switch pressed. Time to see if it'll crank. 3, 2, 1. Oh, yes. We got it to crank, guys. That is the best sound in the world when a car cranks over. All right, 22 years. Fuel, oil. What we should do is pull all the plugs and also put some oil in the cylinders. And then we can test for spark. But I feel like we should do the fuel first, oil second, put some oil in the plugs second, take the plugs out, and then change the oil. And then try to actually fire it up and see if it'll run. So I was gonna use a pneumatic pump and just stick the hose right through the gas, right to the fill tube. But it looks like we have a, where'd it go? There it is. We have a drain plug on the fuel tank. I 100% know the fuel is gonna be varnished. So when I open the, actually, how to tell if your fuel is no good. You do this. Ooh, we'll probably actually leave that open. It will allow us to get better fuel flow when we drain it. Takes me back to my small engine days when people don't run their mowers for like, or snow blowers for like 4 or 5 years. And then you open up the fuel and you're like, one of the worst smells in the world. Gives you a headache too. Okay, switching over to the GoPro. And the reason why I have this car outside is for this specific reason, to drain the old fuel, because if we get any fuel on the floor, even though our floor is basically finished, we're still gonna get that nasty fuel smell left over. So we're gonna do this outside where we are well ventilated. Yeah, switching over to the GoPro. Sorry for the audio difference. Hopefully there's not a lot of fuel in here. Got a 24mm socket for this drain plug. Wow, that turned a lot easier than I thought, which is a good and a bad thing. Hopefully there's not a lot of fuel. Oh, there it goes. Ooh, smelly. Very smelly. Oh. Real quick, get the second can ready, just in case. Oh, that smells so bad. Oh man. Uh-oh. Ooh, what a mess. Ooh, that's a lot of fuel. Oh boy, it ain't stopping, folks. Where's the drain plug? When you drain, close it up. Man, yeah, that's quite a bit of fuel. Yep. Let's go ahead and empty these. All right, this is what we're looking like so far. I found something better. Something a little bit bigger to drain this old fuel into. This will work. Because we got both of our pans full. Man, this stuff stinks. Hopefully we won't have more than 5 gallons. But it seems like it's slowing down a bit, which is good. All right, with all of the fuel removed, we can now roll this thing back into the shop. All right, we got our oil. We just got some regular 5W30, nothing too fancy. And then we just have your cheapest filter. And the reason why is because I want to change the oil, but basically flush it out. But we're gonna change the oil with this stuff here, see if we can fire it up, let it run. And then if it does end up running, we're going to swap it out with something better. And we also have some fogging oil. We're gonna take the spark plugs out and spray the cylinders with fogging oil. 1, 2, 3, 4 spark plugs, since it's a 4-cylinder. Remove them, spray some fogging oil in there, and let it sit. Actually, let's go ahead and do that right now. These long spark plugs. That one's loose. This one's also kind of loose. No, they're really tight. So, I got some oil on, which is good. There's some kind of oil. They are washed platinums. FR8 DPX. Maybe this one was loose. Yeah, it was loose. I was not. Really good. We'll want to replace these plugs so we can get it running on. What's in wires? This one's wet too. Same thing, FR8 DPX washed platinums. Same thing. They don't look too bad. All the same, that's good. We're gonna get our straw and go all the way inside. Make sure you're inside the cylinder and not outside. If you're outside, you might get some of the corrosion that's on the, or dirt and stuff on the outside. Just gonna throw a bit in there. That should be good. This is what I'm talking about. You got to be very careful. Look at that piece of, I don't know what that is. Some paper or what? No clue, but it wants to fall into the cylinder. So what I'm going to try to do is attempt to fish it out. Who is calling me during such a focus time? Okay, it obviously couldn't do it one-handed, but I got it, folks. It was so close to falling in, but we got it. Make sure nothing else is in the holes. The rest look pretty clean. So before we do the oil, he wasn't kidding about the strut being sheared off. Look at that. We're gonna have to take this whole, buy a new whole strut, I think, unless we can somehow mount it back up. Oh man, we might need a new strut mount, and maybe we'll be able to save the strut, but I'm sure the struts are shot. That's just my guess. Wouldn't hurt to replace the strut mount and the strut, if it's not too expensive. Let's try to get this thing running first. But yeah, the camera on this wheel is completely off now. Whew. That's gonna be fun. All right, time for oil. Got the oil drain plug right there. You see it? I don't know what size socket. I'm gonna assume it's I'm gonna guess it's a 20 mil, probably way too big. Way too big, Phil. How about 18? We're getting close. 17. 17 it is. 17 is the winner. Choo! Are we on loosen or tighten? We're on loosen. There we go. All right, what color do you guys think this oil is gonna be? I think it's gonna be pretty clean. He said Joseph was a mechanic back in the day, so I'm sure he took care of his vehicles quite well. Ready? Here we go. I mean, it's It definitely needs to be replaced. It's a bit dirty. Got some miles on it, but at least it's not cloudy colored, or discolored, I should say. I'm gonna let that drain for a minute. Well, I'm thankful my pan is wide enough for us to start working on the oil filter, which is right there. Hopefully the oil filter can be removed by hand. I don't think so. Let me see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Wait, is that tighten? Wait a minute. Are we tightening it? Oh man. Okay, I think we were tightening it. Oops. There we go. All right, let's hopefully this panel will just go, let it kind of funnel its way. Perfect. Perfect. We'll just let that drain for a second. Probably not much in there. Yep. Since we drained the oil tank. That's an old filter. Good old frame. Yeah, looks solid. Looks like we could reuse it, which we won't. I'm kidding. Don't ever reuse oil filters. They're cheap enough. This new one that I got was like $5. We're going to take our new oil filter, grab some of that oil, throw it on the gasket. O-ring, I should say, instead of gasket. Clean this off a little bit. Thread this on. Easy peasy. And we're going to hand tighten it. We don't want to over tighten this. So my hand was just a bit slippery though. Oh yeah, you can get a few more little turns. There we go. All right, hand tight. Now we clean this area off and we put the drain plug back on. There we go. So this engine calls for about 3.6 quarts of oil, and I got a 5 quart because they don't sell them in 3.5 quart quantities. But yeah, very little amount of oil needed in this little 4-cylinder. So, and of course I forgot my funnel that I was supposed to buy at O'Reilly's. Can you believe it or not? I don't have a funnel. I had one, don't know where it went. All right, before we check the level, what I want to do is make sure we don't have any leaks, that the oil filter is snug on there. I don't see any leaks, and I don't see any leaks there. So now we can take our pan out, and in order to check the correct oil fill capacity, see if we got enough oil, we need to take it off of the jack stands. I do need to be careful with that wheel though. All right, let's check our oil reading. We are right there at the full mark, which is the second notch up. Perfect. What I want to do next is replace the fuel filter. And I know what some of you are saying, why don't you just look at the fuel pump as well and swap out the fuel pump strainer at least? Well, that's a process. And what I want is to see if this thing will even fire up. I want to change the fuel filter because it's easy enough. Plus I kind of want to remove more of that bad gas, and I don't want, I know some of the bad gas might still be in the lines and it might contaminate the new fuel filter, but it won't hurt it. because the old fuel, it didn't look like it was contaminated, maybe a little bit after sitting for a while, but there was no like rust particles or anything, which was great. So I think we should be able to just put a new fuel filter on and put some gas in there and maybe crank over the engine while we have the spark plugs out and make sure that it, you know, spins over normally. I think we should do that. All right, I put some fresh fuel in there, and unfortunately the new fuel filter didn't work out because for some reason I actually couldn't get the bottom threaded on. Not too sure why. So I installed the old fuel filter back on. At least we drained it from the old gas that was in there. And I'm just curious, could we fire it up? Highly doubt it. I hear some clicking. You hear that? Not sure what that is. But got the e-brake on. Oh, it's the dash lights. Not sure why they're flickering. All right, here we go. We're getting nothing now. Oh, I think I found it. This thing has a personal kill switch built in it. That's cool. Nothing there. Yeah, I think we got a bad fuel pump. Because here's a little trick small engine repair taught me. You get some starting fluid or carb choke parts cleaner, take the air filter and spray some down into that hole. It's going to serve as a little bit of fuel, right, in the intake, and then we try to fire it up. That's all she wrote. So we just ran on carb and parts cleaner fumes, essentially. We're not getting fuel. It's the fuel pump. Time to drop the tank. I think that'll be the last thing on my work day today. Finished a overgrown lawn cleanup today. Figured I'd start working on the car. Fuel pump tomorrow, I'd say, but I think we're able to drop the tank at least and check the condition of the fuel pump assembly, because we know the fuel pump's bad, but how's the assembly? Is it rusted? How's that little sleeve screen? All that needs to be checked. So let's drop the tank. Oh, by the way, it is not the fuel filter, because I actually with the spark plugs out, completely out, I actually cranked it over with the fuel filter off too, and just tried to kind of turn the engine over, and we weren't getting any fuel coming out of our fuel line. So we definitely know the fuel pump is not working. It's not priming, it's not pumping any fuel. So yeah, before anybody says it's the fuel filter, nah. If it was the fuel filter, if the fuel filter was like dirty, it'd probably still start, but it would run really rough. I think we might be able to inspect the fuel pump with this rusted plate. If we can remove those screws, we'll be able to access the fuel pump from the top without having to drop the fuel tank. All right, the moment of truth. What is underneath the plate? Please be the fuel pump. Oh, yeah. Let's get a closer look at the insides. Well, I mean, it's not terrible, right? Try to focus in on there. I mean, there is some sediment, but does not look like a lot of corrosion, right? I think we might have a good tank. Now I know what a fuel level sensor looks like. This still needs to be replaced. It's corroded. It still works. We got it. This is why you pay mechanics big bucks. Or you figure it out and do it and fix it yourself. After a bunch of wire removal and fuel line disconnect, I ended up busting the old thingy-majig on the fuel pump assembly, so I think I might need a new assembly, guys. That twisted right off. No good. Let's take the fuel pump off. Man, I'm really surprised that they don't have a second access panel. No wonder a lot of people like cut that section out so that way they can access it. I bet you this is just as corroded as the fuel lever gauge thingy. Let me get my other phone so you can see in detail. I want you guys to see this in its full HD 4K glory while we take it out. Wow. Yep. Fuel pump assembly needed. Oh yeah. Might as well replace the whole thing. Hopefully they have, somebody has this, the whole. Well guys, I got some bad news. Unfortunately, my work has been halted. Not fully halted, but temporarily halted because of this. The problem is, when I was taking off the fuel line, disconnecting this square nut, as you can see, I didn't even notice I twisted the fuel line completely off of the fuel pump housing assembly, or the plate, and it's a non-replaceable part. So if we look right there, it's literally like soldered in. Oh man. I'm wondering if we can hammer it out though and then replace it with something similar, because all we basically need, like, if we somehow, maybe it's like glued in, if we somehow remove it and then get a custom fuel line with this exact fitting, then why I'm saying this is because I called like O'Reilly's and AutoZone and all that, and nobody has a complete fuel pump assembly, including this plate. This is the most important thing we need, but they only carry the fuel pump, which I removed from the bracket. So yeah, we kind of have two options. Either continue searching, find a used one of these on like Rock Auto or like carpart.com and have them ship us this piece. I don't even need a fuel pump. I just need this whole assembly right here, what you're looking at, including this attached. So that way we can go buy a brand new fuel pump, brand new fuel gauge lever, reinstall everything, and fire it up and see if it runs. Yep. Man, that's a bummer. That's a bummer. I guess we'll end it on that note, guys. We did not get it running day one, but that's all right. It's supposed to be a winter project anyways, but I kind of got excited and started working on it, but oh well. We stopped on that note. So my search continues, and if anybody out there is watching this video and has the part I'm looking for, I'll buy it from you. Reach out to me. I'll put my email in the description, so if you want to reach out, if you have that part. Remember, it's a 1995 Hyundai Scoupe non-turbo model. All right, appreciate it. Well, I'm signing off, guys. It's been a fun one. We got it to crank over. We changed not all the fluids, but all the necessary fluids in hopes of it running. All the necessary fluids that would matter, you know. The coolant really doesn't matter. The brake fluid doesn't really matter at this point. We just changed the oil, the fuel, and put some fogging oil in the cylinders. So that's where we're ending it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Take care. God bless you. Hope to see you in the next part 2 of getting this Hyundai Scoupe back on the road again. See ya.